Yeah, you know what? I haven't really broken the matchup down a whole lot. Really, just right now we're worrying about preparing ourselves. We'll get into some specific preparation for Boston College over the next couple of days, but still the focus always comes back to preparing ourselves to play our game.
Your thoughts about practicing over here?
That's great. It's been really well taken care of. It's kind of like having two homes. You know, everybody at REA has been great and taking care of all the things that they can over there, and the people over here have been great. So it's been good. Well, you know, I guess you have to see how how things develop as we go through the week. Certainly, that's been the approach. You know, obviously we were awful excited on Sunday night after the win that sent us on to Denver, but that's, you know, there's been a real quiet confidence, a real quiet demeanor about this team all year. That's just the personality of this team, and it would seem like that's going to carry through here over the next week as well.
How much does it help getting Evan back next week?
Well, I don't know. Number one, I don't know whether he will be back. There's no guarantees there. But I mean, he's a good hockey player. You know, he played a huge role for us before his injury. It's nice to have him back on the ice, and you know, whether or not he can get himself ready to play, we'll have to wait and see over the next week. But it's nice having him back on the ice.
Is there concern after a month and a half of not playing his game legs, just being thrown out there for the first team like that?
Well, there is certainly, you know, he's got to work here, but he has worked awful hard even throughout the injury to make sure he stays physically as ready as possible. And I think Evan has, you know, he's one of those guys that has the body type, and you know, even the mental approach. I think that if he can be healthy enough, I don't think that's going to be a big hurdle for him. I think he's one of those guys that will be fine if he jump out there and play.
Dave, obviously you've got it down about having a strong second half and winning the regional and then getting to the Frozen Four. Have you learned anything in the last 3 years of the Frozen Four that maybe you could carry over this year to take it another step?
You know, been asked that question an awful lot. I'll be honest with you. You know, experience is valuable. There's no question about that. You know, you can go back to the 05 Frozen Four in Columbus. I think we played arguably our best 2 games of the year, including the final against Denver with 40-some shots on goal. I don't think our team could have played much better. Quite honestly, we ran into a good team, a good goaltender that night, and certainly, you know, if you go back and break that game down, the bounces didn't go our direction, but we played as well as we could play. So, you know, that's what the goal is to go in and play as well as you can play. This team, this is a veteran team. The seniors have been through this 4 times. That I've said it before, that guarantees you nothing. But from a coach's standpoint, you know what, with a veteran team, I think one of the benefits for us is we know a lot. We've been together for 3-4 years in a lot of cases, and I think the more you, as a coach, know about your players, you know, I think it gives you a better opportunity to put them in positions to be successful. So maybe that's one benefit, and really that has nothing to do with you know, with being at the Frozen Four the previous 2 or 3 years. That's just a matter of, you know, more experience together as a team.
A year ago at this time, you talked about how in 06 that they were overly excitable and giddy from winning the regional, and you never really got them calmed down. And then a year ago, you said, "Well, that's not going to happen again this year." But I mean,
I don't think it did happen. I'll be honest with you. Last year, you know, I don't think we were overly giddy. Certainly going into Milwaukee, there was that feeling. I think we were, you know, a real excited group of young kids. I think there was 12 or 13 freshmen on that team, if I remember right. You know, but I don't think that was the case last year. You know, when you really break last year's, if you want to break it down, which I haven't since whatever that is, 12 months ago. You know, since after the game. You know what? It was a tie hockey game with 3 or 4 minutes to go, and BC made a critical play, and that was the difference. You can argue whether we played our best game or not. You know, and certainly when you don't win, there's a lot of things we could have done better. But you know what? BC made one more play at the end of that hockey game last year. This year, we need to make one more play.
Is BC more comfortable playing a bit more open than what you would normally see week to week in the league?
No,
No?
no. There's teams in our league that play a very similar style to Boston College. Not all of them, but there are teams in our league that play a very similar style.